What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 24 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Tzarina Katarin Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, Wulfric is gone and Norska nearly ours now with 3 settlements remaining, and Norska itself and Epidemius is nearly done as well, with only 1 settlement to his name at the Varg camp. Malice has been taken out as well, or at the very least his army, not his faction, but we'll be starting up on the faction relatively shortly. We've also engaged in the war with Tamarkan and will be looking to bring down his territories and then corner him eventually at Jetty Peak. All looking pretty good in my opinion. In terms of what we got to do this particular time or this particular turn, we'll have to knock out this little rebellion here, mostly for the free money and the fact that it's a decent stack and a chaos stack, which Irogny hasn't had the chance to fight nearly as much as he's been dealing with the Yorks. So we'll take them out and then we'll start moving through the rest of Grimgor's territories before proceeding towards the Red Fortress of a Village. We would probably want to try to get Village's defeat trait on Urogny, as I recall it is a nice single entity buff for that individual unit, and the more buffs we stack on Urogny, the more hilarious it will be. Not that he needs them. Anyway, let's see what we gotta do in this particular turn. Oh, I guess Urogny's up next in terms of the moves, so I guess he's moving. Beledna, you will reinforce as you usually do to cast a few spells. Nearly rank 18, which is the level I wanted for her to start off on her own army/journey. And, you can reach Ironstorm, that's good. You can go into regular stance for now, Urogny. And do we need to level these guys? Oh right, Gotrek got wounded. Oh, the salt returns to me. Anyway, Sigmar's ward gives us experience gain, and attrition casualties suffered. It's not horrible. You know what? Enemy hero action success chance, funnily enough, I was skipping Grandmaster, and then Gotrek got wounded, so... I've only myself to blame. Let's see what else we got. A Patriarch, you're gonna go for Retinue Valet, gotta get that additional magic item drop chance, as there's nothing else that we can really take advantage of. You have it maxed out. You can continue through Retinue Quartermaster, but only after we get that Red War Chant, which I think I missed last episode, but we have now anyway, so that's fine. Let's knock out those rebels. Shouldn't be a particularly difficult fight, but close victory, medium casualties. That's a lot of doggos. Gonna have to protect these guys, and gotta remember that we don't have Gotrek here anymore, so that's it's both a decent unit gone, but also it'll make Felix weaker, and by virtue of the lack of presence of Gotrek. I guess he'll be using his power up on Urogny instead. Away we go.
Pledge their stay! Only Kislev keeps this world safe!
Alrighty, here we go. Felix Vanguard deployed by himself, feeling lonely without Gotrek around. Ooh, nice shot from the Hagwitch going just over Felix's head there. Imagine just standing there when those projectiles just hits you in the back of the head. Man, I wish I remembered what campaign it happened in, but this definitely happened in one of my campaigns where one of our own giant units got hit in the back from like a cannon or something like that from our own army, and it was really funny, but now I forgot which one it is. I wish I could save the video or remembered where it happened. But let's face it, I've run a fair few campaigns at this point, and those are just the ones that I've uploaded. Before I uploaded things, I ran many campaigns as well. You guys have only seen, for those of you that have seen them, only, for example, 2 of my Vampire Counts campaigns, and I did at least 10 of those myself before that, so yeah. Anyway, Felix is out front, but the rest of our units are arriving. He usually leads the Acolytes of Ursun, as he is slow, and so are the infantry, and they'll join him in the fray with a little bit of a buff from the Visen's Wild Form combined with the Passion of Salyak, putting their stats up pretty nicely to 78 to 80 melee attack and defense and 84 weapon strength, which is pretty solid, I'd say. We are outnumbered, but this army is always outnumbered, and it has never, ever mattered to it, despite the fact that we mostly have infantry units. In fact, we have nothing but infantry units and Lord and heroes. And ooh, there's the enemy lord in the middle of the fray as well. Felix, perhaps in lieu of Gotrek, assassinating lords, or Yarogni, who's busy elsewhere, will try to go after the enemy lord instead. And it is only a sorcerer lord, and though they are fairly decent in melee. Looks like... well, melee attack is actually reasonably low here, but melee defense is still pretty high, so it'll still probably take a while to work our way through them. That said, with all of the enemies engaged, it looks like the enemy was not able to really capitalize on its piles of Chaos Warhounds. We kept 1 unit of Acolytes of Ursun to protect, as usual, our Kossars. Though once we remove the Kossars from this army, we won't be needing to do it in that manner. And at that point, we'll have Warbear Riders, so they certainly won't need protecting. Anyway, looks like the other Chaos Warhounds are out of there as well, and our Hag Witch moved in to help out against them on her sled. And bounce power is already about 90% in our favor, and this is just a minor little Chaos Rebellion after all, so hardly surprising that they're booking it on out of there. The enemy Chaos Lord is broken, especially as soon as Yarogni has arrived, and it looks like with that, the rest of his army is breaking. Sadly, it looks like Beledna might not be able to get too much done in this particular battle, as the enemy army will break before she gets there. But not to worry, I'm sure we'll have plenty of battles to do this episode. And there we go. With that, I do believe the enemy lord has fallen, his army has broken, and the battle is ours. A little bit of chasing to do. I'm never sure whether the rebellion sort of armies get destroyed or not, but I guess we're going to find out. Alright, there we go, easy little fight, though a decent amount of monetary reward for it, all things considered. I always forget whether these guys are destroyed upon defeat or not, the rebels I mean, and by the looks of it, they are not. Okay, well, it's good that Beledna, you can keep that, and you got your Frostworm, lovely. Yarogni, go knock this out. I imagine you won't be able to reach Ironstorm now. I'll resolve this, this better not damage us too heavily. And of course it did, way more than the actual battle, hardly surprising though. And Celiac provides sort of might. Then, if you go into March stance, oh, you gotta be kidding me, you still can't reach it? Oh, I thought that if we kept Beledna here, she'd be able to hit Ironstorm after that, and she just can't reach it either. She probably could have taken it herself now. Oh, well, actually, probably not. Alright, fine. Fine, then. We will go into channeling stance, and we won't be able to heal if we do that. I guess we can... Alright, fine. Beledna, you're going to go here. We're going to move Yarogni and then transfer his army yet again, allowing him to channel for the end turn. Bit of a hassle to do it this way, but whatever. He's gonna need the mana. Oh, actually, I lied. He doesn't really need the mana, does he? Oh, well, whatever, too late. He can max out his mana for now. Funnily enough, Beledna would need the mana, but we're going to reset her anyway, because she'll be moving elsewhere shortly. Anyway, let's see who else needs to move this turn. Igor Telichev. You were headed to the Varg camp. Let's grab this mysterious island, and we'll increase your battle prowess, Fortified Grog, giving you the Curse of Cannibalism. Nice. Passive ability regeneration for the army. Not crazy for this particular type of army, but certainly not bad. We're gonna land you here, and we're gonna have Sorka Gospodar follow so that we can hit the Varg camp next turn. Alright, both of you here. And you should still have enough movement range to attack the place even if you are disembarked. We are suffering a fair bit of attrition here, unfortunately, so we could, if we wanted to, move through Reassuring Presence. On the other hand, we have 3 Kosovoid archers that can benefit from Horsemasters. That'll mostly just give them missile resistance. I guess it's not super critical right now. Fine, let's go Reassuring Presence, I guess.
This gift is mine.
91, alright, that saved us a few troops. Not like we care all that much, because Varg camp should fall with relative ease anyway, but just in case, who knows if like a Sigvald full stack shows up, or something near us, and gotta be wary of the potential for it. You... Oh, we're supposed to meet Mother Ostankia, but that means... Maybe I should have just sent you around this way after all. I guess you're just gonna have to sit still until you're ready to go. You can help out and attack the Vard camp next turn as well. I suppose they're going to rebel as well. Might be an annoyance to us, but anyway. Mother Ostankia, you are headed to the Serpent Jetty. You can't land there this turn, so I guess you'll be landing there next turn, but that's just fine. Sigvald really hates us, so like Nakari, most likely he'll be declaring war on us shortly. Recruiter Gaspar. You're waiting here, I guess. You're going to attack Blackrock together with Vladimir Mikheyev, but that'll wait. Kastelton. And now with you, we do have to retrofit you, but Marienburg is currently occupied by the Black Pit tribe orcs, and this is probably a really solid time, decent chance to steal that away. So regardless of the fact that would we set for attrition here? Maybe. Well, this guy won't fight, but we can send him this way. We can grab the island and then move to Marienburg. I think we just should grab that harbor for ourselves. It's a pretty important one after all. So go here. The enemy will run. And we'll see where they go after this. At least further away from our main stack. And we'll heal here because it's a shared sea anyway. Also, Kastelton, you've got a point for yourself. You do have Arcane Vassal, but I think I would rather ignore that for now and then move you towards Stand Your Ground as fast as possible, just because I feel like it should be quite nice for the various Streltsy to be able to defend themselves. Alright, that now looks pretty good. Where's the next, or who's the next rather, to move? There is nobody. Alright, that sounds like an end turn. And every end turn hopefully brings us closer to Boris. And that Pirate's Weapons upgrade, quite a nice one. Sarl Encampment, I notice you don't have anything here. We could build the Eerie Woods though. We were saving for a number of things. Maybe we wait, build the farmstead here I guess. It's not super expensive. Actually wait, we're not moving the... wait. Moving this guy here so we can build... well, actually, we can upgrade the farmstead to the next level next turn, so that's fine as well. Alright, I guess we'll spend no more money. Skip, outpost available, skip. Just because we don't care about that one, I think. Whose outpost are we talking about? Oh, it's the Golden Order's outpost, frankly, and they're probably gonna die, so we'll see if we can rack up a decent amount of passive income, but yeah. And, ooh... we've got solid income coming in from Reichland as well. How many turns would it take, I wonder, to recruit a couple of Hellstorm rockets? They're not technically fire damage, but they are fiery enough for our purposes. 54? They were 29 before. I wonder why they're 54 now. They've increased considerably over like 2 turns. We are still in friendly territory, aren't we? Wait, who did I select to check that? Yeah. That's ludicrously expensive. 81 for a unit of Knights of the Blazing Sun or Knights of the Black Rose? They're not strong enough units to warrant that much cost. 66 for a unit of Great Swords? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we'll wait on that one. As soon as we declare war on the Fecundites, that number will drop significantly because of the proximity and the fact that they're at war with the Empire. So I guess we'll wait so that we don't waste our allegiance, even though we did just hit 100. Either way, we can end the turn for now. Alright, Maggot Hosts not near us by the looks of it, because they didn't try to attack us, but that also means they didn't fall for the ambush that we set up. Marathi, why do you want peace? What possible reason could you want peace with us? It's a little bit odd, in fact. And the reason I find this odd is because you're fighting Avalorn who are dead and Yvresse who are dead. Basically, Ulthuan is yours. I'm gonna say no until you're willing to pay us money. And quite a lot of it, mind you. I don't see if anybody else is able to or willing to attack us at the current time. Legion of the... oh, I've completely forgot we're at war with Valkia. We declared war on her earlier because we wanted to get friendlier with Malice via Virtuit, as the plan was to give him the territories, but, well. Settlement receives plague. Fort Strosk. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's spread to this province now? Ugh. Ah, these plagues. These damn plagues. I mean, granted, these are only... you know, battle prowess plagues, so we don't care that much about them, but I'd still prefer them not spreading out. Still prefer them not spreading out all over the place, so I guess we'll go Power of the Church here as well. Gonna cost us a decent bit of cash for it, but oh well. Ready for duty, ready for duty. That's the Atamans doing their thing. This guy's moved this way. I really wanted to move towards the challenge stone with you, but that's seeming less likely. Tzarina Katarin. You know what I should have done? I should have summoned the Lord here and then had him help take Dragon's Death. But whatever. Alright, you're at max mana, are you not? Yeah, you are. You could just move as far as you can then. Stay in our own territory. I'm almost tempted to... Now, we would be able to reach... I don't think we'd be able to... Huh. Alright, go here. Go into enemy territory. I don't care. And, oh, I shouldn't have done that because we'll actually lose mana now, but whatever. I want to see if we can actually reach a challenge stone first. I'm just concerned about this guy taking the territory for himself. Anyway, Uragni and Beledna, you can trade back the stuff to Uragni. Hopefully Gotrek will come back soon. Damn that hero. Oh, what a sad way for Gotrek to meet his doom. A random level 5 Gobbo just kills him outside of an actual fight. Yeah, Valiant Defeat will actually have to fight this one, of course, but Uragni's acolytes have certainly proved their worth time and again, and I'm sure they will continue to do so. Beledna, you can go here and reinforce. Wait, 100 out of 125. Wait, Uragni did need to channel? I thought he didn't. Did his mana amount increase? Okay, I don't know what. Maybe I just need to pay better attention. Let's see. What else do we got? You. Fiscally prudent? Yes, it's obviously fiscally prudent. Income from buildings plus 10%. Yes, please. Finally, we got somebody with 15%. At last. It took a whole game to do. Drill Master gives us recruit rank when Ataman versus Master Builder. Construction cost reducer. A second one at last. Wow. Finally getting a little bit of decent luck with the Ataman options. Lovely, isn't it? Alright, everybody shut up and dance. I mean, start moving. Vladimir Mikheyev, you are going to besiege Blackrock, and because... Actually, you do have siege attackers, so we could attack it directly, should we desire to do so. Alright, go into a Motherland stance. We'll have to... Oh, this doesn't have a garrison structure, meaning you can fight this cinematically. Beautiful. Got some Chaos Warriors, some Blackguard and Agaron. Actually a fairly decent setup with the artillery being able to fire down upon us as well. Works for me. A recruiter Gaspar, you are going to move here. And we'll send you into reinforce. You're actually supposed to trade a unit anyway. And give it like this, and give this guy. There we go. Unit that we were missing recovered. Frankly, we should probably power this army up a little bit, like by removing the non-spear cossers. And just because they've been around, I mean, they have been around for a long time, and we've been using that army for a long time, nonetheless feels like the thing to do. Go after Mr. Gulgast Caraxes here. And he's going to run. We should, in theory, be able to auto-resolve this now, because the ogres are helping. Auto-resolve, let's hope we don't take too much damage. Let's find out. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, ogres. I'm going to give that one, or the credit for that one, to you. Pardon the captives, I guess. Especially since we'll be losing a little bit of cash. Nomad Riding Master's Servant, enemy killed in battle. Kislevite Kassar, not for you, sir. Let's give Gotrek with the Servant there. And another Kislevite Kassar. Also not for you. There we go. Then you're going to go into March stance, and you're going to start moving this way. I guess move right to the edge of our territory to try to hit the challenge stone, just before this guy gets here. We'll assume that these guys can keep Mr. Tamarkan penned in. Okay, Village is doing fairly decently here. We're not at war with him yet, though. So funnily enough, we might be able to take the Red Fortress out from under him, so we'll see about that. Uragni, you're going to fight this in a second. You're going to fight this in a second. In fact, by a second, I mean basically right now. Let's level you up and let's get into it. You, sir, what are you missing? You have your red line. You are missing bunkers, but you don't really need it. Let's get Urson's protection for this. Missile resistance. What about you two? You have Red War Chant now, so you are moving through Impassioned, I believe. We do want to get We Are the Elite as well. One good thing about fighting Malice is that his starting province is actually quite nice for us because it has three trade goods, which we can certainly put to good use. You already had your Urson's protection. Alright, just go through Impassion then. Alrighty, and then the Spellcaster. Heart of Winter's maxed out. We can occasionally use Crystal Sanctuary, but it's not super needed here and now. Could start to move towards Potent. I know, let's start with Urson's protection. These two spells and this one spell, we'll get all the spells so that we have access to them, but these three are such rare use cases compared to Heart of Winter and Ice Maiden's Kiss that, yeah, alright. We don't need to level you up, you're just a recruiter, yeah. To the Black Rock, Pyrrhic Victory, and we'll have to break down the gate with our Frost Worms, but they're used to it, yeah.
Father Kislev is in your blood. Take her courage as your own. Never falter.
Alright, here we go, heading straight to that gate with our command squad, and, well, it's gonna take a while to break through it, admittedly, so, it's gonna take even longer if the gate keeps opening and we can't actually attack it, but let's speed it up and wait for these guys to work their way through it. Besides, the Mortis Engine effect of the Frostworms does work on units that are near. Oh, look at those debuffs. Without any active debuffs, more than half of the melee attack from those Bleed Swords gone, and down to 21. I always love seeing this. And a little bit of the debuff on the enemy weapon strength from the Warrior Bane as well. There's probably a couple more debuffs that we could stack in here, just got to actually acquire the items, which I'm sure we will. Anyway, these guys are having a bad time up on those walls. The rest of our army is waiting back here to get into combat, and we'll keep on waiting while the towers and the gate are still up. Speed it back up to max, and ooh, the enemy might have, they might have goofed here. This is probably not the best position for the Reaper bolt throwers to be in. They might be able to fire on us here. I guess we're gonna find out, and find out fairly shortly at that as we stream on in to the city. Furies, nope, Harpies drop down upon us, but they will be damaged pretty heavily by a Frost Maiden's Kiss, and of course our Frost Worms dishing out damage to them as they are a fairly fragile unit. And the Blob should have no problem against any of this, and with our reinforcements arriving, and we can finally start moving the rest of our army forward. Maybe not finally, as we only just broke through the gate anyway, and we had to wait for our reinforcements, but that works. Here comes our first Heart of Winter. We've seen this combination be very effective in the past, as the command squad debuffs the enemies and holds them back as the enemies' attacks are just too low to do anything about this. With Tor's Battle came up and running in combination with our aura stacking, pretty much every single unit around has 0 melee attack, so they're at the minimum amount. I don't remember what the minimum amount of chance to hit is at 0 melee attack, whether it's 5% or 10% or whatever, but it's pretty darn low, and it's not going to be a threat to these guys, especially with the healing available to them. Anyway, looks like the Frostworms and the Heart of Winter have cleared out many an enemy unit. Looks like even some Cold One Knights are booking it on away from us, but not to worry, the rest of our units are moving forward. And hey, another guy to add to the command squad, Recruiter Gaspar. Now, I just saw the Reaper bolt throwers firing, so I guess they can fire over here. And smartly, they're firing the single shots, which could definitely be a threat to our Frostworms. Though probably more so once we actually run out of healing ability. It would have been hilarious if they had decided to fire the split shot, though once again, I'm not sure that the AI actually can physically. I don't remember a time when the AI actually used split shot rather than single shot or piercing shot, or whatever the heck it's called. And I think they never programmed into the AI the ability to split different types of projectiles as needed. Anyway, we moved away over here with, well, I probably should have only moved one Frostworm so that they stayed away from each other. Just had to knock out these Black Arc Corsairs to keep them from firing their missiles at us. Fortunately, these are just regular Black Arc Corsairs. They are still anti-large with their missile strength, and it's fairly high nonetheless. And that's why we had to go for them. But they're not buffed up by a Black Arc Corsair Lord, because you can get these stats on the Black Arc Corsairs to pretty insane degrees. And they become really, really strong. The auto-resolve still hates them, but they become insanely strong. Anyway, our war sleds are making their way in there. Our second lord has arrived, and it looks like the enemy artillery is attempting to focus him down. War sleds will be going through the gates, and it looks like the enemy towers have fallen, and the rest of our army is very, very slowly moving their way. We do a lot of damage before the Cossars arrive to help, which is hardly surprising considering this entire blob is rather fast-moving, and the pile of Cossars, or also blob of Cossars, is very much not. Anyway, here come the light war sleds to add a little bit of stealthy gunfire to help. They can focus down any single entities that they can. And also provide... Hey, no more chill wind. We're the only ones that get to chill. We have a chill monopoly, people. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, they also have that bolstered attack aura for the blob, so makes us hit a little bit harder here anyway. Alright, and a second Heart of Winter comes down, certainly needed as the Chaos Warriors and Blackguard of Nagarond are fighting us alike, but, well, I guess all those joints in their armor will let the cold seep through, and I guess, well... Hypercooling the metal of the armor probably don't feel so good. Imagine trying to move around in the armor, your skin getting stuck to it, and with every movement, the frozen armor just ripping your skin off. I imagine that's what would happen. That's what I would write to happen if describing a battle against Kislev, I guess. Anyway, looks like the war sleds have found themselves a target, a Sorceress of Dark, and the war sleds are fairly good at knocking out single target weaker heroes and lords in this manner, simply because... For example, a Master of Fighty Lord they would struggle against, but a Sorceress isn't going to do too much damage. And these guys have okay amounts of weapon strength at 150. It's just pretty solid. Plus, like many units of a range cav and similar hybrid units, they are willing to fire while cornering an enemy unit. So, fairly decent bit of damage there. Anyway, the enemy piles of infantry, missile and melee alike are booking their way away from us, and we chase them down, activating the ice sheet to slow them, and we'll probably break most, if not all of them, before they escape. Here come the war sleds as well to chase the enemy down and fire while they do. And because these are the light war sleds rather than the heavy, we can reposition them quite a bit faster than the heavy war sleds of Tzarina Katarin's army, who, once they're committed, are, well, pretty much committed. Alright, there we go. Keep firing into the back of the enemy units. I'm a little bit wary of the war sleds getting targeted by the Reaper Bolt Throwers, which they have decided to do. And there we go. Nice shot to those gunners, if nothing else. Gotta move our way down, unless we start taking too much damage on these. Certainly would be unfortunate to lose war sled units after the command squad did all this work to prevent too much damage to the rest of our army. And speaking of the rest of their army, they are slowly making their way in, but it takes a long time to move a unit in one by one, and frankly, pretty much the entire enemy army is already broken. But that's fine. That's just fine. Just the enemy Reaper Bolt Throwers, I think, left alive. We're chasing down the enemy lord, and I can speed this up a little bit. Barricade needs to be brought down, and... I think the enemy chain route is here. We just need to actually activate the chain route. We'll pop a Heart of Winter on all three of the artillery pieces. And... that actually didn't force them to run. I guess it's proximity that does it, which is kind of interesting. I wonder why they decided to make it proximity instead of damage. So are you telling me that if an artillery piece was firing on these guys, they wouldn't chain route, even though the chain route condition was active? They would still need one of your units to draw close to them? And another thing I just realized about that, I don't think that is a thing with regards to the player, is it? Like, if a player is to keep a unit back all the way here, it won't allow proximity to keep that unit from routing, because once the player gets a chain route, all the units belonging to the player get a chain route. But the AI seems to have this, you need to get close to force our units to route thing. And I wonder why that is. Maybe it was abused in previous iterations of the game where... I don't know, I'm actually not sure how you would abuse that other than hiding your units. But yeah, I guess that's probably what people did. I'm just surprised that they fixed that, if anything. But anyway, this little skulls coming out of the fire. That's a nice little detail, I never noticed that. Even though it seems par for the course, but anyway. Alright, there we go. Easy enough for that particular fight, especially considering the fairly decent-sized garrison that the enemy had there, and the armor-piercing and anti-large available to them with the Blackguard of Nagorond and the Great Weapons and the Reaper Bolt Throwers. I think one thing, I mean, the Cossars didn't really do much in this particular battle, rather, but the thing to remember about this army is that the Cossars are just mostly here as disposable, cheap, very, very cheap troops that we keep here as needed to, I don't know, throw at the enemy if needed. And frankly, even the war sleds, the light war sleds, are kind of in the same way. The way this army is designed to win battles is through its massive amount of aura stacking. That is what the battles are won on the back of. So, yeah, anyway, veteran warrior, hey, a forbidden rod, very nice. Enemy killed in battle, don't need the potion of foolhardiness, and hopefully we can turn it into something useful. Well, what did we get here? Got a Silent Grove. I think we can keep that. Let's immediately build the obsidian quarry, and well, we're not going to waste the money to upgrade the tavern, but certainly a possibility later on. You to travel through the oasis to... Why aren't you suffering attrition? Why are you immune to attrition?
Let the class flow freely.
That's odd. The reason that this is odd is because this guy has no buffs to attrition reduction, so why wouldn't you suffer attrition? I find this strange. I find this tremendously strange. Oh, also we have this fight this turn. Okay, well, we'll do that in a second. I see the Slaneshi army just booked it away. I have no idea where they went. Probably around the around this area here. Anyway, you can grab that shipwreck, Castelton, and let's hope it don't hurt you too bad. Explore the island. What do we have here? Medium casualties. You know what? I'm gonna manually fight this real quick. I just don't trust it, and we're far away and unsupported by the rest of our armies. Let's just not risk it at the current time. Ah, damn, it's a smiley face battle. I say damn because the hill in the center, the nose, sort of protects the enemy from artillery fire. And this is one of those rare situations where we have artillery and the vampire coast does not, considering they like the whole range superiority thing. But we'll give them a little bit of a taste of their own medicine here. You guys set up back here. I'm gonna max speed through this as best as I can. Let's get you guys here. You're assuming, I'm assuming rather, you're in the center. Set you all up like here. Set you all up like here. You guys a little bit closer. War sleds. I mean, I guess we could move you forward. Frankly, you're probably kind of in danger out there, but whatever. Group 1, Group 2, start battle and speed it up. And get a few volleys up, especially on the enemy depth guard. Don't really care about the enemy range units as much. Or at the very least, be careful with them. And keep on doing this and just being generally an irritant. Alright, a little bit closer now. And we will probably want to slow the enemy down a teensy bit, so we will do so. Alright, now. These are depth guard, so they'll need to be focused down. Castelton, you can head towards the enemy line. And, ooh, you know what we do want to do? We want to be careful about blocking our units off. Patriarch, go here. Okay, no. Oh, I should have turned off the skirmish mode. That's my bad. Patriarch. Actually, the mass from the Warsled is probably going to be quite helpful against the depth guard, so there is that to consider as well. Castelton, charge the enemy lord. She is being damaged by the other fire. There's another unit of depth guard that has reached our Streltsy here, but it's probably not so bad. You guys fire at all this. Castelton, you can heal yourself as needed. Let's also pop a Heart of Winter, and sleds, you're nearly done with that depth guard unit. You know, charge right on through that the deckhands mob. It's not a threat. Alright, you two. Move into the center of the enemy line, and we need to move out. You're not firing. Let's move you on in. Both of you go after the enemy lord now. Castelton, activate your Saliak's Lullaby, and I guess the Taurus battle him as well. Rest of the enemy army just ain't gonna reach the main line. War sleds have nearly cleared out those zombie pirate deckhands mobs. Let's move them up on the hill so that it allows the rest of our streltsy to fire. Enemy's gonna pop a tide call on us, but that's hardly surprising. And you switch fire to that zombie pirate mob. Oh, did we just get hit by our own little groms? I wouldn't be surprised. Let's get another heal up there. And battle will be ours shortly anyway, and you know what, little Grom, stop firing. I think at this point you're probably a bigger threat to us than you are to the enemy. Stelton, activate your healing potion just because we'll want to heal up, get you a little bit of extra armor. And you guys can move away, especially you, since you are damaged now. Okay, the mass, you don't have enough mass. Right, Kastalton, stand to fight everybody else. Don't charge into the rear of that unit. Oh. I haven't seen a Streltsy with Bardicius fight in melee too much. I mean, we did with that one battle against Wolfric, but that was the only one so far. But not to worry, we'll find plenty of battles for Kastalton against the... oh, you don't have a Warbear, that's why you're taking so much damage. We'll find plenty of battles for Kastalton later on when we take on the Fecondites. Alright, looks like the battle's ours. Certainly not a Pyrrhic victory or whatever the auto-resolve said. I did that. I probably shouldn't have sent the witch into the fight, but the thing is, I assumed that she was on a warbear. I got too used to all of the Frost Maidens being on warbears in, well, literally every single other army, but this is a new army, and therefore hasn't leveled sufficiently. Looks like in terms of the Streltsy, the Boydanov's Brawlers Regiment of Renown took the win, but that was hardly surprising. We can heal to full, even the single entities. Yeah, I'll do it. Missing out on a little bit of gold, but whatever, not a big deal. And materials at sea. There it is, folks. The most important, biggest find for us. And Kastalton, you have already earned your place. Absolutely fantastic. This is the moment. With 6 turns in which we devote every single penny, minus this Boydanov Brawler recruitment, to building buildings everywhere. After those 6 turns, our economy will be so much stronger that we'll probably be able to get 3 new armies on the field. Beledna Defender, Griffin Legion, and there's a couple of other things we want to try. Hopefully Boris Ursus by then will get the Warbear Riders for Uragni, and just got to take those 6 turns. Lovely. Oh, I'm so happy. I always get so excited when we get materials at sea. Anyway, Kastalton, don't bother moving full speed, just go right here. We want you to land in Marienburg. I'm really hopeful that Karl doesn't take it from us over the next turn. It's just such a valuable province. I guess we could take Grungzint as well here. I mean, it would mean preemptively sort of declaring war on Bellicor. You know what we could also do? We could have you take this and then sail back out and take Bellicor's stuff yourself. This would leave Mother Estankia and the rest of these guys to keep pushing up north, and we can have one of the recruiters essentially just hang out here, while the other one hangs out around Erengrad. I'm almost... if we had the spare cash right now, I'd probably send you to grab a few of these things. Oh, speaking of spare cash, oh, the Temple of Manan and Frostholm, so cheap, and by virtue of those reductions now, isn't it a beautiful sight? I'd really love for Prague to have leveled up to max. Ooh, you're never getting any cheaper. This thing was like 5 or 6k before. Oh, materials, let's see. You are so nice. Marry me. Anyway, let's see who else needs to do... Ooh, yes, the raiding is working once again. So we gotta prepare for, hopefully, Boris Ursus' stack revival. I'm wondering whether we have enough time to take this stuff at the Port of Secrets. I guess it depends on whether these guys build an army here. I mean, they could build an army there as well. But we do want to take this. I think these guys are unfortunately too busy with Malice to do it for us. Yeah. So we're gonna travel this way. Alright, go. At least there's no other army here. I'm almost tempted to get another lord, a temporary lord up here, just to speed up the raiding. Recruit lord. Is there anybody who we already got for free? Damn, no. Maybe next turn? 2 turns, 4 turns. Do we have any? And we do have a Kossar commander. We can get you on the field. I really don't want to waste the 2.3k, but, you know, it's an extra... It halves the amount of turns it'll take to get Boris on the field, so I think that is worth it. Anyway, no more spending money on anything but buildings. I think I besieged something somewhere here, yeah, didn't I? Yeah, Uragni. I gotta try to not forget that. Also got to double check whether I besieged anything else. And ooh, diplomacy. Anybody willing to give us a ton of cash right now for something?
What?
Is this the time to get into a military alliance with the Reichland? How much money would they give us for this?
Friends of the Empire.
Only 4k.
Yes.
Evissenland, you're willing to go into defensive alliance, eh? The thing is, from them, we wanted to potentially take Wolfenburg if we could, and, well, potentially this province as well, though that, I fear, is less likely. Interesting. The Vamps have actually moved out this way, and in combination with the Ogres, are doing quite the number on Elspeth's faction. I fear that she'll get confederated by Reichland relatively soon. Nonetheless, how much money are you willing to give us for this? 3k, eh? I am tempted by it. Grimgore's Ard Boys. 15k with materials at sea. And, but we can't wait 10 turns here. I would do it, I would. But I think it's not worth waiting, these guys waiting around for 10 turns, right? Man. It tempts me so, but anyway, listen, lad. You know what we could do? We could declare war on some enemies for money. There's potential for that. And the dwarfs won't like this, will they? Still not super friendly. Oh, well, actually, the Krakadrin dwarfs are kind of okay with Elspeth now. They're not so hateful of each other as they were before. Alright, fine. We'll do a defensive alliance with Elspeth. There we go. Hey, she'll give us vision, and how much money would she pay us for the military alliance now? Not enough. Not enough. We'll wait potentially for more. Alright, and that at least recouped the losses that we took for the necessary/unnecessary, depending on how you look at it, recruitment. And just to make sure that you can actually enter the rating next turn, we'll give you a Kislevite Kassar, and I didn't even notice. We got a banner of Eternal Flame at some point. It was probably one of the little between episodes small battles that, yeah, because the cows are for you, that I did. You are Daj's army, the Fire Army. And thus, you'll have the banner of Eternal Flame. Actually, you know what I just realized? Why does the Passion of Salyak, it gives us flaming attacks when Daj is the god of the sun and fire? Salyak's the god of healing. She's Shalia. She's the Empire equivalent. It's the same goddess. Well, the face of the same god. It's debatable. Like Manan and Mathlan. But not Stromfels. Although some think that Stromfels is another face of Manan. It's a whole thing. Anyway, yeah, what I'm saying is imbuement flaming attacks from Salyak rather than Daj. Daj, the god of fire and the sun, gives us the bitterness of winter. I feel like these might maybe be swapped around, maybe, a little bit. Fury of Tor makes sense for Tor. Ursun has the Land Awakened, which gives him the Elemental Bear Summoning. Yeah, that also makes sense. I guess there was nobody else to give the Bitterness of Winter to. I guess maybe Daj takes away the fire and the sun from the enemy, and thereby gives the bitterness, makes them feel the bitterness of winter. Let's go with that. I just feel like the fire imbuement makes more sense with him. Anyway, oh, guys, you're running. I wonder if we'd be able to auto-resolve this, because if we could sail out and kill this guy. Wait, if you besiege Vargcamp, right now, hey, and then we move you in as a reinforcement in regular you know what, in camp stance, because more, or like so, then, really? I'm gonna be like that, huh, game? Alright, manually fought this real quick. It's necessary, it's necessary. I'm still hopeful that we can end this particular turn before we end the episode. Should definitely be possible, even with the other couple of battles that remain here, but sometimes things like this are necessary. And hopefully the enemy waits for us to get on the field. Ooh, wait, does this enemy... This is still Epidemius' faction, so he should still have that damn annoying ability, yeah. Alright, well, we'll have to be watchful of that. Start deployment. Start battle. Go. They will not move towards us. Good. And we'll just stay at max speed. And oh right, you have the Curse of the Ancient Widow, the Lore of the Ancient Widow, or Lore of the Ancient Widow, yeah. So you can actually summon additional things in the woods, which will be nice. Which will be nice indeed. Alright, nearly there. Halfway there, living on a prayer, etc. Alright, slow yourselves down. You guys start getting ready to move forward. With these guys, the Kashina ambushers start marching. They have stock though, so technically, would the enemy actually be able to drop spells on them, considering they shouldn't in theory be able to see them? Oh, well, they're gonna drop a Curse of the Slug on us, but this guy's not in march stance, so that's fine. And, alright, time for the horse archers now. Alright, once again, since we're doing this manual, it's gonna take a little bit of time. Sorry, guys, but 'tis the necessity. Well, you guys can turn off skirmish mode and just head on forward. You guys can head on forward as well. And get ready. Alright, slow yourselves down. They Curse of the Slug, yeah. But it was a waste this particular time around. You guys go here, you guys go here. Then, what we're going to do... Okay, you two will activate your Forbidden Rods. Lanesha giggle. Then, we are going to have you two... Ow. I was gonna have a move, but well, we'll have to wait until the Curse of the Slug is up and gone. Alright, you go here, you go here, you go here. Turn on skirmish mode now. You guys attack this, and this, I guess. And skirmish mode. Akshina ambushers, still gonna take some time to get here, eh? And little Groms, get you ready to target some stuff. Alright, ambushers, move forward, turn off skirmish mode. Then, you can summon things in the woods. And... Oh, these guys had things in the wood summons as well. Oh, they... Huh, they don't? I guess it was another thing that I was thinking of. Bit of a shame, but that's alright. They have other things that they can do. Use them. And Assault of Stone right in the middle of that. And, you know, let's maybe back off. Alright, back up, back up, back up. Don't get surrounded. You are still relatively fragile. And Akshina ambushers will do the damage, so we're moving them in. Alright. Skirmish mode is working for us, taking a little bit of damage on you. Maybe you can summon another unit of beasts or things in the woods, rather. In a bit, and we can activate one of these. And the Soul Blight. Alright, and alright, fine. You can move in and debuff the enemy. How are you guys doing? You're okay, but how are you getting caught by slowed bloody beasts of Nurgle? What is this? Try to knock out that Great Unclean One and knock down the Great Unclean One. Buff yourselves up and Tormentor Swords so the enemy can't do too much damage. Akshina ambushers are in, or at least they're getting ready to move in. Still taking them a while to reach us, but it's fine. Hey, back off, please. Alright, and we don't technically have to kill off the Great Unclean One because it will die of its own accord, but, you know. Okay, run, everybody run. Stop the Great Unclean One, and everybody else back off. And we don't really care about the witches taking damage because they have regeneration. And you can stop this unit of Forsaken. Good. Alright, you guys keep on traveling. The witches are actually rather slow on those sleds of theirs. Alright, things in the woods will probably be out soon, but the rest of the... Ow, for the love of skirmish mode. Yeah, why can't you be trusted? You got caught by a bloody beast in Nurgle. Come on now. And now you're poisoned. Are you happy? Is this what you want? Are you proud of yourselves? Alright, and... could use a couple spells, I guess. Frankly, I'm tempted to speed it up, but you know what? With this army, I kind of can't trust the speed up. It's just the skirmish mode that'll screw us over if we allow it. Also, what are you guys attacking? Yeah, go for the beast of Nurgle, I guess. I guess this particular army didn't have the ability that I was thinking of, because I keep waiting for it and it's not coming. Sad Lanesha giggle. Anyway. And, ooh, hello. We got some units of Forsaken on this side. They rallied with the amount of damage that they had. Good for them. Or not so good, depending on how you look at it. Let's go. Speed it up to max now, and the battle should be out. Hours out, whatever. Hey, don't get caught by that beast of Nurgle again. I'm gonna get real salty if that happens. You kill this. We didn't really need our Akshina ambushers, frankly. And frankly, I thought that the battle would end earlier, but whatever. Alright, Akshina ambushers actually do a little bit of work. Go kill that beast of Nurgle. You guys target this guy. I really thought that he'd route by now. It's taken too long. Oh! I actually shouldn't have sent the Hag Mother into direct combat. While the two Hag Witches we have do have regeneration, she does not. Because she's not in the army belonging to the Družina, which offers them regen. I wonder if she has the regen in her spell tree, or in her tech tree, or skill tree, that's the one. That's it. Alright, either way. Battle towers, easy little fight. We will end the battle, and this should end Epidemius for good. His faction in general. I guess we could have tried to get the defeat trait on Sorka Gospodar, but the immunity to contact effects isn't going to be nearly as useful on the Hag Mother / Hag Witch as it would be on a lord that's more likely to be in melee. Anyway, 12 losses, most of the damage to Sorka here, and that's just fine. She's mostly here to leech XP until she can lead her own army, and lead her own army she will, since she has that unique lore that we don't otherwise have access to. Occupy the Varg camp, then go into regular stance, and... Huh? Why can't we reach you? What? Okay, wait, this is weird. What? Is this not an actual port? Are we not able to use this port? Is this another broken port? What the heck is going on here? Why are you trying to exit the port in order to... What the heck is up with Norska? Fix Norska. It's been around for ages. Yeah, it seems like you're not able to use this port. That's kind of disappointing. Disappointing. I don't know. Just double check it. Yeah, you're not able to get out to see through the port. What in the heck? Odd. Odd, strange, unfair. Oh well. You know what? You can then... Wait. Are you immune to attrition? I don't remember. You are effectively immune to attrition. You haven't taken enough damage to warrant not channeling, so you can enter the settlement, and I guess we'll wait here. Next up, we have the battle against the Crag, and this one I think we can fight cinematically, assuming this port is not also broken. Let's find out. Declare war. This will also declare war on the Decadent Coast, but, well, that was always going to happen eventually, and it's not like we can have Mother Ostanka doing that. Oh, oh, they refuse to fight the Crag. Sorry, vassal. I guess you're on your own. Too bad for you. So sad. Crag, bye. And a valiant defeat. They do have a fairly decent amount of units here. So Mother Ostanka will actually have to work for this one, and thus we'll have to level her up to do the fight. Now, in terms of what we are gonna get, we do want to get a few more things in the lore, as in her lore. I think in the first line it's mostly buffs. We got the Chain Hex versus the Chain Blessing. Omen of Spirits gives us mana and spell mastery, which is quite nice as well, though it does damage Ostanka. I'm inclined to say that that's the better pick here. We don't really need a spell resistance from the passive right now, so let's go Vengeance of Spirits just to get the additional spell mastery, then drop a nice Witch Brew. Get the additional power recharge. Alright, what about you two? You have 2 points remaining, your Flocks of Doom are maxed out, and that's exactly what we wanted. We could get Transformation of Kadam, but frankly, I'm not into it. I don't know, a single Manticore for 20 mana for 120 seconds or whatever the duration is of the summoning units is just not worth it. It'll never do enough damage to be worth it. For the same amount of mana, you can cast 1.5 of Flocks of Doom and do quite a bit of damage. Certainly, if you need to assassinate something, that's fine, but we have other ways to assassinate things. Curse of Honor here, on the other hand, at least at tier 2 Overcast, is very worth it, because it affects everybody around. And you... Why did I get you Curse of the Ancient Witch rather than Vengeance of Spirits? I don't know. Also, before I forget, you got Wild Keeper. Oh, and I was trying to decide whether we want that Potion of Toughness for Ostanka. She already has magical attack, so that part of it is worthless. It's only 10 Vigor loss, but it does affect a bunch of things. I'm gonna say... I'm gonna go Wild Keeper on you as well. And then we can double up, I think, on Vengeance of the Spirit. No, actually, we'll go through Evasion, get Vengeance of the Spirits 1 level, go through Evasion, then try to get into Malediction of Madness, and the Bombardment Cursed Cauldron. Yes. Alright, now we can fight after all that. Lots and lots of Marauders to work our way through. Once again, gotta remember that the things in the woods are quite fragile. Until we have those monstrous units, it'll be a little bit iffy for them, so we'll have to work for the fight. Go.
warned you, the daughters and I. We told you what was coming. Now, it is here, and another of Kislev's foes must be destroyed.
Alrighty, here we go. You know what surprises me about Mother Ostanka and the Družina? Why do Družina give hag witches the regeneration trait, but Mother Ostanka doesn't? Why are Družina better leaders of hag witches than Mother Ostanka herself? It feels a little bit odd considering she buffs them otherwise, generally speaking, but regeneration is a strong trait, and hag witches are fairly fragile and have a tendency, because of their big models, to get targeted, or at least their sled's big models, to get targeted by the... Ooh, I like the cape. I got distracted by that. Cool cape. Get targeted by enemy piles of range units. Anyway, here we go. This should be a reasonably, potentially tough battle force. The enemy has a lot of units on the field, and a lot of units coming in as a reinforcement. Our goal to destroy this enemy army before the reinforcements make their way onto the field. Fortunately, though, Mother Ostanka and this army in general have gotten a lot stronger than they were when they've started out. A, because of the presence of the additional hag witches, and B, and because of the access to additional spells. So we have Vengeance of the Spirits combined with the Phlox of Doom coming down in pretty big blobs of the enemy, all the while we ride around using our damaging attacks and dropping more AoE damaging spells. So Phlox of Doom and the crows in the Phlox of Doom and the bats of the Vengeance of Spirits all doing damage to the enemy. And look at that! Before our beasts arrived, the things in the woods, and our leopards, the enemy army is pretty badly hurt. So well done to these three. 117 kills and 17k, nearly 18k damage on Ostanka, 13k on the other witch, and 25k on the Flock of Doom spammer. Here come the rest of our units. The things in the woods making their way in, of course, with the snow leopards leading the charge. And while we may not yet have our incarnate elementals of beasts or frostworms, it does look to be working pretty well. That's only the first set of monsters, however, as the flanking units have arrived to crush the enemy infantry between us. The spells continue to drop down on the enemy, though focusing on the enemy range units at this time, and another set of things in the woods and snow leopards getting ready to start focusing down those range units. The presence of the snow leopards is also applying maim to the enemy units, slowing them down and giving us more AoE effects. So we'll have the AoE from the various spells that we have, plus we'll have or AoE, or damage over time, I mean. Plus we'll have the damage over time from the incarnate elementals, the worms, and the snow leopards, all combining at the same time. And I do think that in its final form, this army is going to be pretty darn strong. Perhaps it'll, well, I was about to say it'll struggle against single entities a lot more than it will against blobs of infantry. But at the same time, the presence of so many snow leopards, which are strong assassin units, and sort of built for that sort of thing, will probably make it so that that's not a big issue. Anyway, the hag witches and the things in the woods and snow leopards are sending the enemy army running. In fact, the first enemy army is pretty much destroyed here. The reinforcements have arrived on the field, but alas, this is pretty much where the battle ends, because, like much of Norska, this appears to be a broken map. There is like a... I think there's a line like right here. Oh, you can see it, in fact. See this line, or the way that the enemy units are standing, and this line right here? This isn't by accident. There seems to be an invisible wall or impassable terrain, so the enemy units arrived where they can't actually leave. You seemingly can't go past this little pile of burning pallets. They were trying to make Burning Man happen, but it didn't happen. Anyway, only a few of the enemy units were able to break away, and in fact, a lot of them seem to have spawned sort of partially on the line. We can see that these 2 units, or 3 units, don't have their banners with them, and that's because the unit banner is still stuck behind this, and they can't move any further, and these guys are still moving to whatever degree they can. So, we'll watch our army kill the rest of them, but that part of the enemy army isn't going to be able to do anything. anything. Anyway, once again, the things in the woods and the snow leopards catch the enemy. One great thing about this particular army is that it's really good at chasing down annoying enemy elements of cavalry, as they just can't escape the snow leopards, who then maim them and then slow them down for the things in the woods, who are slow, well, who are fast who are fast at 70 speed, but obviously not fast enough to catch faster units of cavalry. However, the snow leopards at 135 move speed and maim on them are fast enough to catch most things. They're fast enough to keep pace with Tzarina Katarin. They just don't have the mass that she does to charge through pretty much anything other than monsters. Alright, well, either way, the units, because they're unsupported by the rest of their army, are getting absolutely brutally ripped apart by the things in the woods there. Just lots of blood in the snow, and little of it ours. Alright, looks like that Chaos Warrior unit has been destroyed. The Marauder Hunters with Javelins, the last unit seemingly still in the fight, though I am still looking for banners, and once again, we've seen that several of the units here don't actually have their banners. We gotta get some proper sort of forest battles for the things in the woods and such, considering we have such big buffs in this army, or generally speaking, to forest fights for these guys. If we fight the Wood Elves, and more likely than not, we'll definitely attack Elendilling and the Lorelorn faction. Mostly because I have it out for Elendilling after he was, after Lorelorn and Elendilling in particular were very annoying in, I think it was the Valkia campaign, sort of running around and refusing to engage in combat. But anyway, there we go. With that, the last of the enemies break, and we have to try to figure out to force the enemy army to rout. So the only thing to do that seems to be to drop spells on these guys. They can't move, and we can't actually move towards them either, as we can't see the invisible walls, but it seems to... Oh, actually, I think we can. Huh. Is this elevation that it's showing us, or is this... Nah, I guess it's just elevation that it's showing us. Yeah, anyway, spells drop upon the enemy and it forces them all to rout after repeated uses. And that will allow us to end the battle without needing to send in all the monsters. Lovely, if a little bit annoying, but yeah, Norska issues. Alright, well, there we go. I think if one thing that this campaign is making me realize is that the Norscan territory is really messed up, in the sense that there's a lot of broken stuff about it. I guess because we're fighting a lot more minor battles than we normally would, it's making us see that a little bit more than it normally would as well. We also would have loved to have destroyed that army, but since we physically couldn't reach them, couldn't do anything about it. 90k damage on the Hag Witch of Beasts versus 50k and 53k damage on Astanka and the other Hag. I think this is a good, sort of showcase for the power of the Flock of Doom spam versus the Vengeance of Spirits. Anyway, either way, this army is certainly starting to get scary, and we don't even have our incarnate elementals yet. Occupy the place, obviously. This little army is going to run. We can't do anything about it. I assume we can't reach it to just... No, it's going to run away twice to get out of our range. I guess once we establish the zone of control so that we couldn't immediately attack them afterwards. Yeah, but... What? And we can't get back into Serpent Jetty ourselves. Why? Never seen that happen. Hopefully we've exerted a zone of control on this unit, though. It's not like we really need healing, so hopefully it'll be fine. Veteran Warrior, and we are good to go. We'll see whether you try anything. Yeah, Norska. Very, very broken. We will... Don't collect... Well... 400 gold. You know what? Even at the cost of some of the control here, I think it'll be worth it to collect the gold right now, immediately. Simply because Mother Stanka has a lot of anti-corruption, so it'll be dropping fairly quickly anyway. And we need all the money we can get for our materials at sea to give us the most use. Did we do the heroes this turn yet? No. Scout... Stick around here, I guess. Now let's steal some tech if we can manage it.
For Kislev.
Miusa. Oh, there's that army. Another failure. You're playing a risky game. If I wasn't too lazy to rename you right now. Let's steal a tech here as well. And success. Alright. Do we have anybody else that needs to do anything? Well, I mean, in theory, okay, you know what? You can land at Pack Ice Bay for now. I want to use you to recruit a war drum for Stealth, and I think we have just enough now in terms of being able to do it. Alexander Kolesnitsa, you don't need to do or move. To do anything or move. And the rest of you, I think, are good, minus you. I mean, you were going this way, but we don't know whether there's an Aghole army there. I'm concerned about it. This guy won't be able to attack you. You know, it starts slowly moving this way. I'm not even going to try to go out to sea with you because, I don't know, it's going to... Oh. Bard camps... Wait. You're telling me you can go... No, you still can't go out to sea. Game. And, oh, there doesn't actually appear to be anybody in the Aghole territory. Well, that's great, because then nobody can attack you and you can meet with Mother Estankia right there and then promptly delete yourself after. Alright, anybody else? Oh, right, we still have to do the battle with Yarogni's fight. We should build the buildings, but frankly, we should also not build the buildings, because we could do that with the materials at sea after we're done. Alright, anyway, Yarogni, where are you? I was just looking at some buildings to be building. Grimgor's moved away. I'm once again very tempted by all the money he's willing to offer us, but alas, I think, for this particular turn, we won't do it, or for this particular time. You have the baronings and stuff maxed out now, yes? All the Acolytes of Ursun, I mean. Yeah, you're good to go. You need your bear riders, and we'll probably global recruit them. We'll need to save up, because it costs us 5.5k to recruit a single bear rider right now. I was actually planning to potentially recruit some here, and even move the one of the recruiter lords here, but I think we're better off doing it at the Red Fortress or something like that, just once these guys are all out of the picture. I'm going to combine that with a bunch of Steppe Shepherds and at least reduce it somewhat. Too bad we don't have Castalton's bonus be faction-wide to enable us to do that. Anyway, Yarogni. Medical Corp versus... let's get you extra plating. Can't have too much plating. Felix, a user. Missing Gotrek, I bet. Start moving through, well, let's get Foe Seeker. A little bit of extra speed is actually quite nice since Felix is a little bit slow. You will get Retinue Valet. And then lastly, the Hag Witch. Another point in Flock of Doom because we keep spamming it. Or another point in Protective Charms because you keep getting hit by enemy missile strikes. Well, decent options, but you're the only caster, and you gotta keep on using that Flock of Doom. Well, actually, while Bloodness is here, technically you're not the only caster, but, shut up. Alright, anyway, let's get to it.
I promise you, to fail me brings worse consequences than the blades of these curs.
Alrighty, here we go again. Hopefully you guys aren't tired of watching Yarogni lead the Acolytes of Ursun to absolute slaughter of the piles of orcs that we've been getting, well, a fair amount of time in this portion of the campaign so far, but, well, enjoy it while you can if you do, because it's probably one of the last battles that Yarogni will have the ability to do this as from, well, I don't know how many episodes it'll take, but a couple of episodes from now, he'll have his army retrofit, he'll have his warbears and his other units, and more likely than not, as we've seen, the auto-resolve doesn't seem to hate these units as much, let's say, as certain other units, so we'll be auto-resolving these smaller battles afterwards. I mean, smaller battles in sort of a sense, because the enemy still outnumbers us, It's just that they're not really a threat to Uragni's army, even if they do outnumber us. They'll need to be much more elite for that, and we will probably find enemy elites in the relatively strong factions of the Blessed Dread and Clan Eshin down in Cathay, since they've nearly destroyed Cathay already. And that's why we'll have our retrofitted army ready for Uragni to go down there. Assault of Stone comes down. It is nice that the Hag Witches have the bound Assault of Stone ability, which is a wide area bombardment, and curious how much damage she's dealt so far, as she's dropped that and a Flock of Doom. So 2 spells, 62 kills, and 31,000 damage. Pretty darn solid. Once again, though, the enemy is disadvantaged by the fact that it has a choke point. It would be an advantage if the enemy had any kind of method to punish our units for blobbing up, but because they've no artillery and no spell work, it isn't really an issue. Of course, if they did, we'd just be sending units of Acolytes versing one by one while the command squad led the charge, and then simply swapping out the Acolytes once they took sufficient damage. I suppose enemy missile fire would also serve this particular purpose, but, well, clearly they don't have enough missile fire either. Oh, and our missile resistance item is on Gotrek, who, yeah. Alright, but he'll be back, I assume. Unless what happened to him, or what happened to Ulrika happens to him, and he just disappears. I better not be the case. No, either way. Either way, Patriarch and Uragni are, well, Patriarchs I should say, and Uragni are forward. Felix is attempting to break through, but he just doesn't have the mass, unlike the rest of our heroes, and is sort of still in the middle of our piles of Acolytes. Alright, there we go, and Belinda the Defender at last on her Frostworm is dishing out mighty amounts of damage, I'm sure. You know what, this wasn't something I was originally intending on, but I like the fact that our 2 legends, Uragni and Beledna the Defender, are working together here, and in these sort of little mini armies that aren't full, because you really only need the legends to do the work. Alrighty. And just as Uragni will be getting a retrofit, of course, as I've mentioned, Beledna will be getting her own army now that she has her Frostworm. Not that we really needed to wait for it, but because she'll be leading an army that is largely composed of Ice Guard and piles of monstrous units, elemental bears and whatnot, it feels appropriate that she does have her Frostworm. Plus, at least this way we'll have a Ice Witch on a Frostworm, and don't have to feel bad about Tzarina Katarin constantly riding around on the sled, just for variety's sake. There was a comment suggesting we get a Hag Witch Lord on the field as well, as in not Mother Asank, and we'll definitely do that as we've been leeching XP with one of our Lore of the Ancient Widows Hag Lords. Though I've not yet decided what kind of army that particular Hag Witch will lead. We'll have to figure that one out. I also do want to put some rocket batteries into an army, probably our weakest army, the army up north with the piles of Kossars, just to power it up a little bit. Not that it hasn't been doing a great job up north so far, despite having basically mostly Kossars from the start of the campaign. But I think at this point we've seen the regular Kossars fight enough and win enough that we can feel free to sort of change them out. Not all of them, of course, but, you know, enough of them. Anyway, balance of power shifts to about 80% in our favor in this particular battle, but, well, that one is hardly surprising. Boarboy's still in the fight, and there's still a fair few units standing around. Perhaps the smart thing to do is we thus can't target them with, well, blob killing spells. And charge on forth as the enemy Boarboys rout away. Nice charge by Beledna, adding some nice mass and that Mortis Engine effect to this particular army. It's not needed, but it is very nice. She's up at 389 kills and 54,000 damage dealt so far. A different purpose, of course, on the Frostworm than Uragni is. He is best at dueling and destroying enemy lords, heroes, and single entities, and Beledna on a Frostworm being a caster and a Mortis Engine, and best at obliterating masses of infantry. By the Funnily enough, with how strong Frost Worms are in SFO because of the Mortis Engine effect, it feels like you basically... I mean, I'm not doing this because well, it interferes with the army variety, but if you're playing Kislev, I think in terms of efficiency, the best sort of armies in terms of cost efficiency would be a couple of Frostworms, a couple of Patriarchs, and then all Cossars. This would keep your army costs very much down, but it would allow you to still do massive amounts of damage from the Frostworms, while the very cheap Cossars make up the bulk of your forces. What I'm saying is you can include Frostworms in every single army, and they're pretty effective, especially with the Patriarchs there to heal them up. Though I guess we'll see how effective they are in Mother Ostanka's army, since she doesn't have any Patriarchs. I suppose we could put one emergency Patriarch into her army. I mean, we do have the Witch Broth and the Guyas healing abilities on Mother Ostanka herself, but they're not... They don't actually heal all that much. They do seem to be inferior forms of healing as compared to the... Staliak's Lullaby. I suppose if we get another spare Daj's Brazier area heal element, we could put that in her army. Though frankly, it would be nice to have a Daj's Brazier in pretty much every single army, and we just don't have enough of them, and we do have to prioritize those with those armies that have command squad reliance, as area heal is more useful, most useful, to command squads that are constantly in the fight, and B armies that have, well, lore armies like Daj's army. Ain't no way Daj's fire army will not have a Daj's Brazier. And then lastly, armies with monsters that need a lot of heals. Anyway, we continue making our way through the enemy city, minor supply location, captured a couple more orc boys stand against us, or boys and biggins here. And, oh, out here one of our units of Acolytes of Urson have peeled away and are just obliterating a poor unit of orc arrow boys. And they are in Rampage, or they're still out of control, so we can't do too much about that. What's their buff up at? No, only 29%, but these I think were the units that were held in reserve, so they'll have less of that. We activate the Blizzard ability, or spell, on Beledna, who's up to 650 kills and 95k damage. Very, very nice. Certainly after Tzarina Katarin's own heart there. Getting maybe not quite that level of damage, but starting to rack up similar sorts of numbers. Alright, and I do believe with the orc boys, they're routing the only unit left on the field. Oh, no, there's another unit all the way back here, a unit of biggins. I don't know whether we actually need to destroy them, though, because there is a lord out here who will get killed off quickly. And we can also move in to capture the enemy's settlement. Oh, there we go. The heroes run down the enemy lord, but that wasn't particularly interesting as he just got sort of pushed around. And the orc biggins will break, and with that, the settlement is ours. There we go. Once again, the Acolytes managed to hack their way through another Orky settlement. It looks like, unlike last battle, the Beornings edge out the Bearkin just by a tiny, tiny bit there. 175 kills and 181, 16.5 and 15k damage. Solid. Occupy the place, of course. Grimgor's still around. And did we get a defeat trait of Grimgor on... Oh, we didn't. Interesting. Here's the maybe I should have attacked Grimgor first, because, well, you can't reach him anyway, actually. Never mind. Never mind. Now, we don't need to heal, and we won't take attrition, so we will go for channeling. Let's see if we can't get that Grimgor defeat trait next turn on Urogni. Scroll of Blast, another Forbidden Rod, getting some decent stuff this time around. Definitely have to pay attention to that. What the heck do you have? Wait. Oh, you have a Dawnstone and Gambler's Armor. Yeah, we really have not been getting armor at all in this particular campaign. Not a single Armor of Destiny, not a single Armor of Fortune. Basically no good armors. We have one worm harness, and that's it. All the other armors are a couple of Helm of Discords and some armor of silvered steel, and they're just a bunch of garbage gray armors, which is kind of interesting, considering we're getting a bunch of good blue items, just no armor. Well, look at the draw, look at the draw. Anyway, let's see if anybody else needs to do anything, but I don't believe they do. Igor Telichev, I forgot what I was doing with you, my friend. Oh, right. I was gonna send you out to We could risk... you know what? Go here. I don't know if this will work, but who knows. Nah, it won't work. Alright, oh. Oh, I should not have done that. Huh. I definitely should not have done that and thinking that it worked. Are you actually able to get out to sea then? What the heck? I switched to march stance and it took your movement, and then I switched back to regular stance and it took the rest of your movement. Norska. Why are you so broken? Yeah, so the bad thing about that is this. This guy's then going to move in next turn to attempt to attack the Varg camp. I guess you can use the summon spirits. You get the overcast spell. Extended cast range, that's all it gives? Huh. Oh. Wait. You get extended cast range and it costs you twice as much mana? No, thank you. It's no. Let's see. Self reserves per second, enemy reserves per second, reduction, crippling curse does no damage, and it's damage that we will need here to win the fight. Wasting curses, incoming healing modifier, and a little bit of damage, direct damage for enemy lords and heroes. Guess we'll take that. This doesn't reduce the cost. In fact, it seems like there isn't really any good reason to take this at all. Because it won't increase the number of uses, it's still 2, it just gives you the ability to overcast it, and yes, extended cast range is nice. It triples the cast range, so you can use it into the back of the enemy line, but we will get it, but right now I just don't see the need. Anyway, looks like you're going to have to defend this on your own, because I'm an idiot. And I shouldn't have moved this guy. You know what I should have... Oh, can't move you here either. Alright, Sorka Gospodar, let's see if you survive. I don't know how we're gonna kill the Chaos Sorcerer Lord. These guys should be reasonably easy pickings. Huh. I wonder, can the enemy use the harbor, like attack via the harbor, considering we can't leave via the harbor? I'd be curious to see. I guess we're gonna find out. Maybe it's only broken when it's against us. I mean, I don't know. Norska. Alrighty, let's do a little building, and then we can end the turn. We don't have much time left, but I'd like to see if anything interesting happens, and more importantly, get to the next turn so that I can fight the little mini battles between the episodes. You, Master Builder, you're here to upgrade Uskalac to the next level. And this church to tier 2, I guess, and the stud farm, and the taverns, and I guess this thing as well. Do we want to bother? I still don't really want to bother upgrading the churches to tier 3, but just do it. Technically, we should replace them all with hallowed woods or whatever, but, well, for now. Then, well, let's go from the top this time, since we can get some of the more expensive buildings up and running. Silent Grove for you. And only 1600. Okay, the churches we still don't care about. Yes to all the stud farms / farm states, more growth faction-wide, and you can start on the Eerie Woods here. Skull Road. Well, let's upgrade the stud farm and I guess Stormwreck Mount. Doesn't really matter which. Able to reduce some stuff here, but I don't know. We can get the Keep of the Ice Queen. Yeah, it takes devotion, but nonetheless, we should start building these everywhere. And we can upgrade the Royal Chapter House, increase Zargard and Griffin Legion capacity. After these turns are over, we will be building them after all, and these things will never be cheaper. Although, actually, we could move the Reducer guy here and reduce the cost of some of this stuff over the next turn. Probably don't actually need the caster in here either, though at Zavastra it is providing a decent garrison, so there may still be uses for it. Alright, let's do this. Eerie Woods, and this is Southern Oblast, right? So Southern Oblast, we will send Reducer Man. That's his real name, right there. I guess there is the second reducer man as well, which we could put somewhere else, but for now, let's keep on building. Everything but churches and the stuff that will be reduced even further next turn. I use Silver Pinnacle. Yes to the roads, and this is also a decent place for another reducer man. I mean, I guess technically we still want to build the farmstead here, but at the same time, we have the ice training fields, and the smithery will provide additional income from buildings in the local region. It's not that much, but it is something. The other option would be to get additional capacity out of these things, or more Silent Grove, which actually gives us money. This gives us the Frost Storm and Garrison War, the Warbear Riders. That's a nasty garrison. I'm gonna do this. Eerie Woods, and... Wait, did I... I should have... I'm moving you back here. Okay, fine. Okay, so wait. Just... I know what I'm doing. I somewhat know what I'm doing. Where's the recruiter guy, or reducer guy? The second reducer guy. Let's see. There's nothing to build here, so you don't need to reduce here anyway. So, you are going to go back to the Silver Pinnacle, even though you're the other guy. No, I guess the other guy was up at Uskalik, whatever. Then you'll reduce the stuff here further next turn. We will start on building the... I guess this thing, so that we can upgrade it to the smithery and then build the other Ice Guard building, because Tzarina Katarin and Blood of the Defender will both want Ice Guard. Zarl Encampment, yes to the upgrades, all the upgrades in the world. And another Eerie Woods. Got good reducing prospects here for next turn, most likely, but for now we'll upgrade whatever it is that we can. There we go, and that's about everything. Alright, nice. Oh, materials at sea. The other great thing about materials at sea is that it reduces severely the amount of admin that we have to deal with later on, because most buildings get completed, or at the very least a ton of buildings get completed, and then we don't have to constantly worry about it. So, excited for that as well. We need to upgrade the town at Blackfang. Frankly, we don't actually need the churches in this particular territory, but we'll deal with it later. Pat to the east, we're starting to run out of cash now, but that's fine. Ooh, another Saltworks, more money coming in from all markets in town, and you have no farm here, so build the farm as well. Mountains of Nalfari, yes to the Stonemason's Workshop, yes to the markets, and the farms, Beautiful. More markets. Yeah, build the taverns, grow the places faster. All the Chaos territories have to have churches anyway. And then we can build a farm. More growth everywhere. Icetooth Mountains, you're up next. Ooh, definitely prioritize the metalworks, ironworks, whatever. Volery. I was going to potentially recruit some Cossars here, but we can global recruit, so this no longer is relevant. Let us instead upgrade the Volery itself, and thereby run out of money completely. Alright, there was other stuff to upgrade, but not so much. We can also start collecting the income. It's not going to be a lot, but we want to start collecting income everywhere, even minor amounts, because every little bit will help over the course of the 6 turns of materials at sea. We will run out of lost cargo, so we'll lose a little bit of money over the next few turns, but oh well. And this is exactly why I wanted to send an army out to sea. And we probably will still do so. But anyway, with that, I believe we're ready to end the turn. I'm very curious to see what'll happen here. Sorka Gospodar, let's see if you die. Wait, do you have any items that we want to get rid of? Lose the Step Shepherd, since it's a rare item. Ancillary, whatever. Enter. Oh, you're also at half HP. Oh well, go. End turn. See what happens. See if that guy can land. Auto-resolve. This is a different guy. I forgot about you. Take the money. And the other way, the other guy landed probably, but also couldn't reach us. Oh, the Norsk is so messed up. Poor Tallyman. Alright, Emperor Karl Franz, Military Alliance. You're still having a bit of a tough time with those gobos, ain't ya? Ain't ya? You're supposed to offer us more money than that, though. Still willing to do the 4K, though. We have maxed out our allegiance with them, so the only purpose that this might serve is... And these guys, they're getting friendlier with the dwarfs. It's not like we're going to declare war on Karl Franz at the end of the day. And just do it. Take the money. Take the money. Not a big deal. Ooh, Karl Franz took back one of his territories. Good for you, Karl. Good for you. And let's see if anybody else can attack us, but I think those were the main ones that we needed to see, and we see no further attack. Creator, Constructor, Disciplinarian, enemy killed in battle, Pestilence Scheme performed, ally begins outpost construction, ready for duty, and we are good. Alrighty, Boris, minus 15. Let's pump up those numbers, The rookie numbers is what I'm getting at. Not Drookie numbers, alas.
Move or die.
I laughed my ass off when I made that joke in the it's so stupid, in the Malekith campaign. There we go, minus 25. Alright, so we should be able to get that rebellion up and running real quick. Possibly quicker than we might want, considering you still need to reach a port of secrets. But anyway, with that, folks, we are once more very much out of time, but I wanted to end the turn. I'll fight all these little remaining garbage minor battles that we have for this particular turn that we won't be able to auto-resolve. Possibly this as well. Yeah, there's no defenses there, so yeah. And next time we come back, I'll do the admin too, and hopefully get into more battles. We need to send somebody down to Cathay. Cathay is an absolute shambles, and both the well, the western provinces are likely going to be dead by the time we get to them, and frankly, the Golden Order is as well. Oh, wow, Goldtooth. I don't understand how Goldtooth is doing so well, considering the ogres generally aren't able to construct their advanced units. Well, I guess we'll find out. We can maintain friendly relations with them for now, just because we have so much territory that potential. I don't think the fight is there so much as it is here. Once again, because it's unlikely that we'll see advanced units from Goldtooth, but, well, I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on it as well. We could certainly betray them and kill them, steal the Dragon Isles, and make the insane amount of money from that. But there is still fighting going on in Cathay and stuff. Anyway, more not Cathay to come, though someday Cathay. More Ice Courts to come. Stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. Glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.